Hello.
Hello. You got everything?
Yes, sir.
You didn't bring much, did you?
No.
You're like...
I just brought the outfit and that was it.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
FSD.
FSD.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Terminal A.
Is that where Spirit's at?
That's where Spirit's at.
Ooh, I can't see.
Sin's got some sunglasses down in the, there you go.
Oh,
Leaves those in here.
Mm.
Well, that was a quick trip.
Yes, sir.
Got in town. How did you, I didn't even, so your mom didn't even tell me you were coming in for Justin's thing. How did you get home? Did your mom go get you? Or did you
I
Uber?
just Ubered, yeah.
Ubered, yeah. I mean, at that time of night, not knowing exactly what time you'll get in, probably the easiest thing for you instead of waiting on somebody.
Yeah. Shoot.
Well, that's nice of you to do that, though, man. To come in and, you know, I know that's hard, man. Flying all night. Not because you can't sleep on a plane isn't real sleep.
Yeah. It's more of like a nap.
It's not even a nap. It's like every time I've fallen asleep on a plane, I've just woken up angrier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just, well, it depends. Like on those really long distance flights, the seats are a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. Man, we are going right into the sun. But, yeah, the seats are a lot more comfortable. They're usually bigger and it's more spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the planes that they use are, you know, more amenable to, well, you know this, you went to Japan.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? Like 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, like 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah. So, you know, those planes are a bit easier to, and because they're so big, they don't have, yeah, they're huge. So like the type of, you know, you barely get any bumps on those planes, right? They're just like aircraft carriers in the sky. Like I remember one time I was like, I want to say the biggest commercial jet I was ever on. It was an Emirates flight. You know, Emirates, the United Arab Emirates. They have,
yeah, like Dubai and all that.
yeah, Dubai and Abu Dhabi. All right, see, we're stopping for this guy to see what he's doing. There we go.
Watch out!
Whoa.
There we go.
Good job, FSD.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so the flight was just, you know, the plane was just, I'm literally like an aircraft carrier. And so when we were going down the runway, I literally didn't even know we were going down the runway.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I knew, like they had told us to buckle up and that we were getting ready for departure, and I was rooting around in my backpack or something, and I looked, I said, well, when are we taking off? I was like, dude, we're already in. I was like, what? It's like, it was such a big plane that even like, I thought it was still taxiing. But when those really, really big jumbo jets take off, you feel like you're you know what I mean by not taxiing, like going for takeoff, but like just going to a different part of the tarmac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of thing. That's what it felt like. I was like, we're already, what? Yeah, this thing's so huge, you barely feel it when you take off.
Like compared to like a Spirit flight where you can feel every little freaking bump. It's like, okay, I know we took off.
Well, the Spirit flight, I'm assuming you're on like a Boeing 737 or something. That's still better than like some of the flights I used to take would be on these Embraers. You know, that's the one where it literally looks like a toothpaste tube, where it's like there's literally one seat on one side and two on the other. You've been on one of those before?
I think I have, yeah.
Yeah. That, you feel everything.
And it's just like, is this even safe?
Yeah. Well, statistically, it's safer than being on the road. Statistically, yeah. It's just that, you know, it's a psychological thing, right? Because you don't personally have control of it, right? And that's But if you go by statistics, that like I don't even want to say it, but the statistics are, it's clearly, well, I'll go ahead and say it, but you're more, let me rephrase what I was about to say, because I don't want to jinx us right now, but there's a better chance of something bad happening to you going to the HEB 2 miles away in your car than there is in a plane. And that's just facts. Just facts. Science. It's science.
Science, bitch.
Science.
Getting robbed. Yeah, but getting robbed on a plane, that's
what?
Very scary too. Like the plane getting hijacked and stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant like somebody like coming on a plane, like, all right, everybody give me your jewelry. I'm like, dude, you ain't got anywhere to go, man. Like, where are you gonna go? You're on this plane with us. You can't like run away.
Yeah.
I get what you say. You're talking about like, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, again, I don't even like, but like hijacking is like, now see, this is not good. You see how it put the nose of the car, like we aren't on it, but the nose of the car is right on it's on the closest railroad track to us. Technically, you should be completely back. So we should be about 2 to 3 feet further back right now. So this is, I mean, granted, we don't have a train coming through, and if there was one, they'd have the gates down. But still, you're always supposed to stay off of the railroad track. So this isn't good right here. So that's a little bit of a snafu.
FSD, step your game up.
Yeah, come on. We got some congestion right here.
All right. I don't even see the freaking.
I don't know what's
the light.
Yeah, so you see the traffic light. Yeah. They installed those, I swear, Jacob, 3 months ago, and they still haven't gotten them
to work.
Turned on.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So two brought up a good point today when we were coming through here to go home. So I was like, how hard can it be? I get it. They have to calibrate it with all of the other lights here on 494. All right, let me just pay attention here real quick. All right. No, we got oncoming vehicle right there, but we should be pretty good. All right. We'll go. Yeah, that was that chicken, like back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I don't know exactly who was, I think they were first. I have to go back and look at the video on that one. So they may have actually, I knew we were going to have a little bit of chicken right there. And see, that's where the lights, that's why they got to get those lights in there, because that is a constant thing of two cars playing chicken right there, right? He wanted to go across, I wanted to go left, but we were both at a stop sign. So you lose track of who's got the right of way on something like that. That's where those traffic lights would really come in handy.
Yeah, and sometimes people be greedy and they be going when it's like supposed to be your turn and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking may have happened a little bit there. But we were giving them an opportunity to go too. Yeah. It's like we stopped and said, okay, well then go. All right, you're not going to go, then we're going to go. And then as soon as we go, so it's like, you see, it's a game of chicken. All right, we're getting through here. Got a dedicated temporary right turn-in lane, so that's good to go that it recognized this, because this is not on Google Maps right here. All right, do we have an opportunity here? We do. We take it. Great job. But, yeah, so they've had those traffic lights installed there for about 3 months, and they haven't turned it on. So what I was going to say before we got to that intersection was, I was like, I get it, you got to calibrate, like whenever you turn traffic lights on, obviously you got to calibrate it with all the other lights that are there on 494 going down there. But I was like, that can't be that difficult. But then two brought up a great point as well. The lights are right in front of the railroad tracks. Yeah. So you probably got to coordinate that with the Texas Railroad Commission, or, you know, I don't know. So taking a little bit, but they need to get that thing turned on, because that is a hell of a intersection. If they had lights there, that would make getting through that area so much easier, and it would truly make it a good cut through.
Yeah.
So where you don't have to take North Park.
Yeah,
But that's
North
the
Park
problem.
is congested.
Yeah, you always know North Park's congested, but what you don't know, but it still moves. You know what you got with North Park. With Knox Road, you're flipping a coin, right? Sometimes you go that back way, it's clear sailing, nobody, and you just right on through. But God help you if there's a backup there. Like when we came, well, you might have been asleep when we came through to go back home. You know how the traffic can get so backed up, it's almost back to our neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just like, well, that's worse than North Park.
Yeah.
So you're kind of flipping a coin. Whereas with North Park, you kind of always know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Really? It was that crowded on a Saturday?
Oh, yeah. I said the same thing. I was like, I get it if it was, and this was probably about 2:45, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, well, I would get this if it was a weekday, you know, people picking up kids from school, kids going home from school.
Yeah.
And you got that middle school right there.
Yeah.
You know, going into when you first go into our neighborhood. But yeah, I guess like on a Saturday at this time, I was like, North Park must be really bad for all these people to want to come through here. Problem is, probably took them longer there on Knox Road to get through than it did on North Park.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's always a coin flip with Knox Road. So anything, I know you got 2 months in with your girlfriend. Y'all are going to go to Universal when you get your tax return. Tax refund, I should say.
Tax refund, yeah.
At least your tax return should be pretty easy. You only got one W-2. That's from the Marine Corps. That's an easy one. And anything interesting work-wise, or you just, are y'all, I mean, obviously you can't talk about everything, but are y'all just doing normal stuff around the base, or do you have any interesting field ops going on, or it's, hey, you know, I can't tell you anything about that?
Yeah, we got one field op coming up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where do y'all go for your field ops? Is it right there around Pendleton or San Diego, or do y'all go like 29 Palms and stuff like that?
I can't say.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I knew it. I pushed up to the brink.
Yeah.
I got you, Bubba. I got you.
That went last year and it was alright, but this time it's our company's turn to like host it.
Oh, what?
So,
yeah.
It's gonna be.
So when you host it, there's a lot more work to do.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. How long? It's pretty. Yeah, they're usually pretty long.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a month and a half or month and 3 weeks.
Yeah. And you've already, and again, like we said, this doesn't mean this is where you go now, but you've already been to 29 Palms, right, before?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was awful.
What's that?
It was awful.
Yeah, 29 Palms is rough. There's just nothing outside of 29 Palms is not that bad.
Yeah, because it's like Palm Springs and all that.
Yeah, but on the base,
oh my god, it sucks.
yeah, the only place I remember being like less to do than 29 Palms was Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo.
You been there?
Yeah, I went there one time. It was very, very short. It was only for like 30 days. So I was not stationed in Gitmo, and it just for edification, this was way before all the crap that happened with in Iraq with Gitmo. This was back in the early 90s. But we've always had Gitmo. The Marine Corps has always had a base on Gitmo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it has, God, when did we put that base? Pretty much right after Castro and the Bay of Pigs, like that was the one thing we kept. So it was interesting. We've had it since the early 60s, and the Marine Corps had a base there. And of course they turned that base into a prison. Yeah, it's small and there ain't a lot to do there, that's for sure. Can't do much at Gitmo other than lift weights and drink.
Yeah. I feel like the worst part about 29 is Camp Wilson. Oh my god.
Is what?
Camp Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh my god. But the upside of Camp Wilson is that they have like this commissary and they like make you food and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, one thing I noticed in my 6 years in active duty Marine Corps was that the worse the duty station, sometimes the better the food.
Yeah.
Like they know, because the less there is to do in the place where you're stationed, you get better food because there's nothing else to focus on.
Yeah.
You know, and when you get put on KP duty, kitchen duty, in a really bad location, you don't care as much, right? Yeah. And so you're still in good, good spirits. But
yeah, 'cause you're getting,
you get sent to Hawaii and you get put on KP duty.
You're just like, oh my god,
yeah,
it's so fucking hot.
Yeah,
so humid.
Yep. But have you had to do kitchen? Well, no. Are you a corporal yet?
No, not yet.
Lance, you're still a Lance
criminal.
Lance criminal.
Yes, sir.
Lance terminal.
Yeah, terminal Lance for real. Oh my god.
You'll get it. You'll get your E4. But yeah, once you get to E4, then you don't have to do kitchen duty or what was that term that they used to use for work parties?
Yeah,
y'all do work parties?
Yeah, I had to do it.
There's no party about it.
Yeah, there is no party. Honestly, wait, there is. Because when I was at 29, I got put on a working party. I got put on kitchen duty. And it was like, we were like the late night ones.
Oh.
So we had to basically like set up all the shit for the night, for like the breakfast dudes.
Yeah.
And then while we're setting stuff up, we just like fuck around and have fun and like steal food.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, oops.
So that's interesting. So they had different shifts for kids. Well, then they have definitely hooked y'all up. Like they
like the night shift's the best one.
Yeah. Well, when I was in the 80s and early 90s, when you got put on kit, there was no shift. So you got put on it for 30 days, and they just worked you to the bone. So you would literally have to be there. I guess chow hall would open up at like 5:30 in the morning. So you basically had to be there like an hour before. So your day started at 4:30 a.m. and then I think evening chow would always end, what, about 6 or 7?
Yeah, about 6.
About 6, yeah. So about 1800. And so you'd have to be there an hour. So you would be there from 04:30 to like 1900, 2000. And you just worked, 20-hour days in the kitchen. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's times to work 20-hour days, but when it's in the kitchen, woo. So that's nice that they've divided it up. So y'all have like a morning and lunch shift, and then y'all have like the evening shift.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. So the morning shift now, the guys that have to be there at 4:30 in the morning, they knock off right after noon chow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, that's better. That's better. Yeah, it used to not be that way. They used to just keep
work
you all
to the bone.
Work you to the bone all the way through. All right, now we need to get over. When's it gonna? There we go. We got the blinker on, but it waits till the very end. I don't know why it does that, but anywho, it's always made it back over. Sherry Burton, Realtor. Okay, you're going a little wide there, Sherry.
Sheesh.
So she's accurate, reliable, and trusted. Well, I don't know how much I trust her right now.
After that wide turn?
Yeah, that wide turn. You saw how wide that was.
Yeah.
Literally wanted to take your door off. So let's see what's going on as well. So it's January. So you've got less than 2 years left.
Yeah.
So you basically got about a year and 9 months, 10 months left.
Yeah.
Nice. You figured out what you want to do when you get out? Are you going to go to school?
Go to school.
Go to school. Go to la escuela.
Escuela, man.
You're going to do like Lone Star first, or are you going to go straight to like a 4-year college?
I'm going to do Miramar College over there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You were talking about that. Well, yeah, so a lot of this is going to be dictated like where you and your girlfriend are at a couple of years from now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And you still got family in California. So no, I get it.
So I'm deciding whether I should stay over there and go to university or go over here. Because they're both good.
Yeah. Well, you get the GI Bill works in both places.
Yes, sir.
The only thing you might want to check into, I don't know if it's still an active thing, but well, no, because you're going to have the GI Bill anyway. It's going to take care of pretty much all of it. But You've heard of the Hazelwood Act, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. The Hazelwood Act is only for Texas.
Yeah, which is super duper good.
It's really good. I mean, that's what Wyatt is going to college right now on my Hazelwood Act.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm literally not coming out of pocket other than for his board, right? I got to pay for his boarding, but all his tuition, his fees, everything other than meal, all of that I can take through the Hazelwood. So it's basically just his boarding, which, don't get me wrong, that's still half of it. Like half the cost of college is like, especially if you're staying on campus, if you're in a dorm room, that's half the cost. So, but it's still nice that, you know, all of that is being taken care of by the Hazelwood Act. So yeah, I got hooked up there. But yeah, so you'll have the GI Bill, but that's something you may, I can't remember what the cutoff or what the specific rule. I made it because I was obviously a veteran of war, of combat, but you don't just have to be a veteran of a war or have been in combat for the Hazelwood Act. I think that and in fact, I don't know when the Iraq-Afghanistan cutoff is. That you may have been in the Marine Corps when they did the cutoff.
Really?
Yeah, so you may want to just check on that. So, like, you don't want to leave money on the table, right?
Yeah.
If the state of Texas is willing to pay for, you know. Now, the other thing, too, is I don't know if they, like... What's that?
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. Actually, you know what? You're right. I probably should focus on this, getting you to... So we're going to Terminal A. Let's make sure we go to the right... All right, we got some arrows coming up here, so let's not hit those.
It says keep left for departure.
So let's stay to the left. Yeah. B is the first one. Got to go past B, and then we got to get over for A. So really the question's going to be, is it going to... Okay, there we go. But just don't go to B. All right, we're getting over. And then there we go. We got A departures. Have to get over one more. You're going to get over. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get up to A departure. Now, don't go over there. Go straight here. We're going to do it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I may need to still take at the very end just to get you, you know, where you can get out. I don't want to just, hey, throw you out of the car.
Yeah, like, oh, God.
All right, let's see how we do going through
Oh,
here.
it's perfect.
Look at this.
Dang.
Look at this. All right. Well.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah.
I think this is good right here.
Yeah, this is great.
All right. Let me. Do you need me to get out and help you out? All right, brother. Love you, man.
Love you. Give me a hug right
Yes, sir.
All
All right, man. Safe flight.
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
let us know when you get home or when you get to the base.
Yeah.
Everything.
You drive back safe, right?
Yes, sir. All right. Love you, bud.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. All right, moving through Terminal A. Got to watch out for pedestrians, obviously, getting out of their cars. So we're slowing down. Let's see what they're going to do here. There we go. Okay. So it was going to try to get around that car, and then as soon as, well, there we go. Really good decision making here. Like, it's taking in all the different opportunities you can do. Okay, that person kind of came up. So you got to really be careful with pedestrians around here, and it did a great job. Fantastic. All right, coming out of Terminal A, and we're going to go by Terminal B arrivals, but we don't want to go into Terminal B arrivals. We want to stay over here. Okay, we merge in. Great job. Want to pay attention through here, because it was right around here I had a critical intervention. Yep, see where that guy just went right there. All right, we cleared it. Good. This area is good to go. All right, continuing to go around. We're going to need to get over to the left here in a second. There we go. There's our left blinker. We're going to take this left exit to go to Will Clayton Parkway. All right, it slowed down a bit right there. It slowed down about 4 or 5 miles an hour, and I'm not exactly sure why. There wasn't anything I could see in that left exit as it was curving. I mean, it was a little bit of a harsh curve, but nothing, I didn't see anything jumping. So that was kind of interesting. Didn't have anybody right behind me, so that, and we didn't slow down that much. Like I said, it's again probably about 4 or 5 miles per hour. So, but still, I could feel that slowdown, and I don't know what that was for. Headed to the airport exit. Yeah, that was pretty good. It took us all the way to, not just all the way up on the Terminal A departure ramp. It got us over to the left and got up the right ramp, but it also pulled over to the correct drop-off spot and dropped them off, and then leaving the Terminal A departures, I should say, drop-off spot, did a great job circumnavigating and matriculating through pedestrians getting out of their vehicles to go catch a plane. So that was fantastic. Great job at the airport. Right? We are on Will Clayton Parkway now. don't know what they're doing. Somebody wants to go a lot faster than what traffic is going. And so what they're going to do is they're going to tail somebody who also has 4 or 5 vehicles in front of them going the same speed. So it's like, I don't know what that individual wants folks to do. You know, you know that person. They're mad because there's anybody else on the road impeding their ability. And see, look what that got them. Sometimes I think people they've got that race foot, and they've just always got to be on see, look at this, on the edge, the brink. They just got to do it. So yeah, my Jacob, talk about a quick turnaround. So he got in at 4 o'clock this morning to be here for my nephew's engagement party, tea ceremony. So we had a family get together for a tea party ceremony. In Vietnamese culture, when a man and woman, young man, young woman, get engaged, there's a tea party ceremony where both of the families come together, and basically the groom to be, their family ask for the bride's to be's family for her hand in. So it goes back, obviously, centuries. It's centuries old Vietnamese culture, and it's really cool. So that's what we were doing today, is we were going through that ceremony, and obviously I'm on the groom's side, and don't worry, I didn't screw anything up with my big old white boy stupidity. Nothing. I didn't say nothing. I didn't do anything. I was not that guy. I was quiet and in the background, and I was ready to eat when everything was done. I shook hands. I said congratulations. I gave some money. Got to do that. And I was ready to eat. So it was great. It was fun. So that's what we did today. So he flew in. He got in at 4 a.m. this morning. So as soon as he got off duty yesterday evening, he got on a plane. He's stationed in San Diego. He's stationed at Miramar, just north of San Diego, at the Marine Corps Air Station base there. So he got on a flight out of San Diego last night, and it had a layover in Las Vegas for like 2 or 3 hours. So he did not get into Houston until about 4 in the morning. Ubered. I didn't even know he was coming. Two didn't even tell me. I guess it was just one of those, he had to wait until he absolutely knew he was going to be able to do it, which makes sense. In the Marine Corps, you just never really know. And so anyway, he got in, and then around 9 o'clock this morning, or what time did we leave? Actually, it was 8 o'clock. About 8 o'clock this morning, we got in the car, got in the Tesla, and we headed down to Sugar Land, where a lot of my wife's family lives. So my nephew and all of his family, they live down in Sugar Land, and very large Vietnamese population. I should say a Vietnamese ancestor, ethnicity, large, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know what I mean. Large population in Sugar Land. And so yeah, we drove down there, that FSD drive was 0 intervention. So as I'm debriefing on the FSD drives, the FSD drive down there, we had 0 interventions, critical or non-critical. We did have some lane selection snafus. So on one of them, we were supposed to take the West Park Tollway, and it hung out over in the left lane too long. And by the time it started making its move over to the right, it just couldn't make it. And that's actually, so today was the very first day that, since I've been on version 13, that we've missed an exit. Very first one, exit on a highway. Today was the first day. All right, we're going to do some merging right here. Let's see how we do. We're going to need to slow down a little bit. I was like, what are you going to do? You going to speed up or slow down? You got to pick one. And we slowed down. There we go. Good job. So now we're going to start moving our way over to the left. Good job. So, yeah, so that was a lane selection. It wasn't huge because instead of taking West Park Tollway, we just stayed on 59 going southbound. And so it probably would have saved us a minute or two going West Park Tollway. It cuts a little bit out, but you can still just go 59 to, what was it, Beech Nut or Bissonnet? I forget which one. But either way, that worked out fine. I mean, you know, that's one of those things where there's like literally 3 or 4 different ways you can get to the same place. And so we were fine with that. But technically, it missed. It missed an exit. And then there was a lane selection issue when we were on Beech Nut, where it again got all the way, wanted to get all the way over to the left, but the 2 most left lanes are turning only lanes. And so we kind of got stuck there for a little bit. Fortunately for us, the lanes to the right, they turned green before ours did. And so we just let FSD let all the traffic in the lane to the right of us get through, and then it got over and went, which is perfectly legal and fine, but it's just not optimal. Now, it may have been more interesting if our turning light had turned green before the straightaway lights. Had that happened, generally there's 1 or 2 things I've seen FSD do. It will either go ahead and turn left, like, you know, even though that's not the way it wants to navigate, it'll go ahead and turn left and then do a U-turn and then do another left. Or it will just go straight. When that left turning light comes on, it'll get over here and turn. Technically, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that because that light is red over there. So technically, you're running a red light. But we didn't have that situation. So we were not able to see what FSD would have done in that situation. I will tell you, a lot of humans, when stuck in that situation, would do the same. Technically, though, it's illegal. But we all know humans from time to time do some illegal things that aren't letter of the law, but they're not dangerous because obviously you don't have anybody coming through there because the light red there. You're not ready to go yet. And if your light is green over here, nobody's coming the other direction. So anyway, nonetheless, doesn't matter. We weren't hit with that scenario, but I would say on the trip down there, no interventions, no critical interventions, but we did have a couple of lane snafus that were just not optimal. Ultimately got us there and got us all the way to the front of my family's house down in Sugar Land, and technically parked us in front of it. It just didn't park us exactly where my wife wanted it to be. So I did actually have to move the car about 15 yards, but that's only because it's an engagement party there was specific places people needed to park. And obviously I wasn't going to be able to program that into FSD. So FSD got us right in front of the house perfectly. But then I did manually move the car for my wife. So that was good to go. On the way back, so there was technically 3 trips. Then we had the FSD drive over to my nephew's fiance's house because everybody needed to go over there and ask for her hand in marriage. So, but their house was only like 1.5 miles away. So FSD did great there. No interventions of any sort on the way there. And it pulled up directly to her house, to my nephew's fiance's house. And it did something that it's having a problem doing at my house. It literally tried to park at her house. And I'm like, no, we can't. Now, granted, we needed to navigate to her house, but we obviously shouldn't be parking at her house on a day where they're having an engagement party. So we needed to go further down the road. But it was funny. It has such a tough time parking in my driveway, but it was about to literally go park, and it was perfectly lined up too. Like the angle it was going at was perfectly angled for her driveway, her family, I should say her family's, her mom and dad's driveway. But I had to, so it got us there, but then I manually took over to go find another parking spot. So again, this time it was probably about 15 or 20 yards away. So when I took over, and intervened so that it would not park at her place, that intervention was literally to go, park the car about 15 or 20 yards away so that, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not good manners to, when you're a guest at somebody's engagement party or baby shower or anything, it's, wedding shower, whatever you're doing, you don't park in their driveway. You go find a spot. All right, we're going to need to get, I don't know if we're going to get over. Let's see. Yeah, we will. Got a little congested there. But the good thing is it went around those folks instead of getting behind them. All right, worked out perfectly. So that worked out great. So no interventions. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Because we're still on 13.2.2, when I intervene to go put it into a specific parking place, I do not count that as an intervention. Number one, because we don't have specific parking functionality in 13.2.2 or version 13 of any sort yet, at least what's to the public. And secondly, I don't count those as interventions is because in a cybercab world, you're not going to have it. It's going to drop you off and get on its way. So I don't count that last 5 to 10 yards, if you will, of just disengaging to go find a specific parking spot. When I say interventions, I mean like during the drive, I needed to intervene, and that did not happen at all. So we have some oncoming cars. So we've talked about the drive to Sugarland, to my family's house. We talked about the drive over to my nephew's fiance house. All right, we're making it across the... Now, we just got honked at. So I want to be transparent. That honk was for me. And I will be transparent. We were going pretty slow to get over that. But if you see the Sierra, that truck in front of us was going extremely slow into that intersection, and I'm not sure why. So we had a gap. So I want to be transparent, but I also want to give you the facts. Was that honk for us? Yes, it was. But let me also give you the other side. There was a sizable gap there. The only reason that gap got closed was because the red GMC Sierra truck up there was going 5 miles an hour to get across the intersection. And I have no clue. Like, even right now, he's really going fairly slow along this road. Oh, okay. So, well, that makes sense. He's about to turn. I don't know why he was going so slow to get across the intersection of Knox Road and 494, though. That doesn't make much sense. All right, so he's turning here. All right, we got enough room there. Perfect. All right, and then the third and final drive, prior to this airport drive, obviously, but the third and final drive to go from my nephew's fiance's house in Sugar Land all the way back home, we were doing great. And then we got up, which is perfectly fine. We got up on the HOV lane, which is perfectly fine. We had 3 people in the car, and I've got it set to, if HOV's open and the traffic looks good on it, which it was, to go ahead and take the HOV, because I've got 3 people in the car. And we took the HOV, but I'm going to be transparent with you. The whole time we were on the HOV lane, it did fine, but I could tell it was kind of it was kind of not struggling, because obviously it made it through all the way through the HOV, but I could tell it was a little confused about whether it needed to stay to the right or stay to the left, which direction. And it made all the right decisions to continue to stay on the HOV lane and not get off early. But then when it did come time for our exit, so you obviously, this is the other thing, our HOV lanes in Houston are cordoned off. There's dividers. There's those big concrete dividers, and not like California and other places where you can kind of get in and out. I wish ours were like that. That makes more sense. Ours have big concrete barriers. So there's a special lane you have to take in order to get off of the HOV and then circle back over to the interstate, or to the highway, which to me makes absolutely zero sense. I hate the way our HOV lanes are. Let me pay attention. Good Lord. That dude, did y'all see that? He was coming in hot, and he did not yield. And we obviously had the right of way. We're in the traffic circle. So I don't know what that guy was doing, but we had the right of way there. We were clearly in the traffic circle. Nonetheless, it did fine. FSD did great there. We did not lock up and throw on the heebie-jeebies, but we did slow down a bit for old Yahoo there. But to get to the most important point, I did have a critical intervention as we were getting off of the as we were making our exit to get off of the HOV lane. You go all the way up to the top of the exit ramp for the HOV lane, and then you actually have to come to a stop and go left to circle back and get on the main highway. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Granted, I engaged the brake pretty well before the stop sign, but I did not get the sense that it was slowing down at all for that stop sign. And so I don't know if that had something to do with it, that it was an HOV lane, and I don't know, but I wasn't comfortable, especially with my wife and my son in the car. I just was not comfortable at all trying to see if it was going to start slowing down. So I went ahead and engaged the brake. And so obviously, due to the fact that I engaged the brake, by default, we're going to call that a critical disengagement and say that, all right, is it going to get up here? Well, while it's figuring that out. Yeah, so I had a critical disengagement. So I'll get all that up there. That'll probably be up before this one is. So yeah, we had another critical disengagement. I'm trying to remember how many miles, and I'll let you know how many miles we had in between, but I want to say I went close to 800 miles since my last critical disengagement, which is a little bit sad because the time between the other two was about 1,000 miles. I went a little bit over 1,000 miles, and this one's going to be about 800. So somewhere in that ballpark, but still. So we're kind of in that. My understanding is that 750 to 1,000. Now that being said, this was on an HOV lane, and it was kind of a weird placement of a stop sign, but it was clearly a stop. Well, we're just gonna let it do its thing. But so had a critical disengagement today. But all in all, still though, I'm gonna have logged nearly 200 miles of driving today, and that was really it. That disengagement that I had coming off of the HOV lane. And again, I don't like the way we have our HOV lanes in Houston. I have not seen that in any other location. And it makes getting on and off of them just a real pain in the butt. So I think I'm just going to go back to just never getting on HOV lanes. I mean, we had 3 people in the car, so I was like, why not? So I untoggled it, but I'm just going to stay away from HOV lanes. Maybe, and let me know if there's anybody else from Houston who's got FSD version 13 and you use the HOV lane regularly. Let me know. Do you notice that FSD is kind of a little bit weird on the Houston HOV lanes? Let me know what you're seeing, because that's the first time I've used the HOV lane on version 13. And because I don't have more than me and my wife, and you got to have 2+. So I just never really use it. And, it just, I don't know. It just never felt like it was at ease. Like when it's on 59, it knows it. All right. I thought I was going to try to park me there for a second. I don't know how many point turns it's going to do here, but my guess is it's going to parallel park me now. Well, that's interesting. It never gave up. I thought it had just given up. Look at this. There you go. It never gave up. I thought it was done over there. So there you go. Now you know that thing, when it's going, I mean, granted, you're probably not going to want to sit there and give it a minute or two like that, but, well, now you know the answer. It doesn't give up. So yeah, I'll get all that downloaded and uploaded, but yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Doesn't matter that it was a HOV lane. Doesn't matter that it was kind of a weird placement of a stop sign. At the end of the day, had it kept going, and blown through a stop sign, that's not a good thing. Now, the only other thing, I need to look at that intersection because, and here's the reason why I say this. Because if I want to characterize it as critical, well, first of all, there has to be like you would have a wreck, like that you would have a fender bender, a wreck or something. And I'm not so sure that there's even traffic coming from the right. So I need to take a look at that again, but either way, it was definitely an intervention. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And quite honestly, I probably just need to go ahead and put it in the critical intervention bucket because it's a stop sign. If you blow through a stop sign, generally speaking, it did not. I stopped it, but I just did not get the feeling it was going to slow down for that stop sign. But let me take a look at that again, because there just may be, like, again, the placement of that stop sign was a bit weird. It was kind of like curved over. And again, it's coming off an HOV lane. Like, how many other places do you have to, like, come off an HOV lane and come to a stop? It's just like, it's ridiculous. I do not like the way our HOV lanes are laid out here. Anyway, like I said, I'll get all that downloaded and uploaded, and as well as this video for the taking my son to the airport. 0 interventions of any kind. I didn't touch anything this go around. Parked us right here, parallel park. Now, I didn't get us up in the driveway, but again, part of that's probably because there's another car there. All right, everybody. Love you, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.